Here's a great question about ellipses on how to determine what the graph looks like. First off, if you're wanting to graph this, you want to find this kind of information. So for an ellipse, you'd probably want to find the center. Since this one has numbers in with the x that's all squared, I know it's not centered on the origin. So I want to find the center of it. And then I need to find how wide it is, how tall it is, and then where the focus points are. Really, that's what I need. How wide it is, that would be a value. How tall, that would be a b. I guess it depends which orientation it is, but the longest side, half of that's called A. The shortest side, half of that's called B. And then the focus point would be sides or a measurement called C. Okay, when I look at this graph, the center is whatever these coordinates are here. So this is x minus 1. The normal equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to 1 over either a squared and b squared, or these could switch. Depends on which one's bigger. For ellipse, the size matters, and whichever one it's underneath, then the larger one, that's a. Anyway, so the center is h and k, so in our case that would be 1 and 2. So that's the center of my ellipse. Now, since the largest number here is 9, that's what a squared will be. So a squared is 9, therefore a is equal to 3. So from the middle out to the edge is 3. B would be this other number, or b squared would be the other number, is 4. B squared is 4, then b has to be 2. And that would be the height, or half the height of the ellipse. So b is equal to 2. And then to find c, I have a relationship that sort of looks like Pythagoras, but it's a minus there instead of a plus. So c squared I don't know. A squared is 9 minus b squared is 4. So c squared is equal to 5, or c is equal to a positive or negative square root of 5. Typically we look at just a positive number because it's a distance, really not a direction. Okay, so if I wanted to graph this, I'd first plot my center. That'll be at the point 1 and then up 2. So right there is the center of my ellipse. I know it goes sideways. It's one of these ellipses. It's not one of these. So this one, yes, this one, no. So it's that one. So my longest side is going to extend this way and extend that way by a measurement of 3, of A. So if I go 1, 2, 3, so there's the outside edge of my ellipse. And then if I go 1, 2, 3 to this point, that's the left side, outside edge of my ellipse. Now let's see how far we have to go up. That's whatever B is. B is 2, so I have to go up another 2. So from here up 2, and I have to go down 2. So there I've got my corners of my ellipse. I can probably draw it now. So it goes something like that. Okay, it looks more like a potato, but it's supposed to be an ellipse. So that would be my ellipse. The only other piece that I need to do is to figure out where my focus points are. I'll maybe use a different color for those. C we found to be root 5. And the square root of 5, if you do it on a calculator, it'll be like 2.1, 2.2, something like that. So I'll just sort of ballpark where it would be. So it'd be over 1, 2, and a little bit. So there'd be my one focus point. 1, 2, and a little bit. There'd be my other focus point. I probably need to identify what all those points are too. Maybe let's start with, well, our center is 1, 2. So let's figure out what this point is. It's at the same height, so it's got to be something 2. I guess my focus point would have to be something and 2. This focus point would have to be something and 2. And this end point or vertex of the ellipse would have to be something and 2. We just have to figure out what the x values are because they're all in a straight line. So if this one's at 1 and a was 3, so I had to go 3 over, 1, 2, 3. If this is 1, I have to go 3 over that. That number there would be 4. Now if this is 1 and I had to go back 3, so that's 0, -1, -2. So this would be -2. Now this one down here, this would be, I have to go over √5. So maybe I could write that as 1 minus √5 because I started at 1 and I have to go √5 this way. So I could write it like that. If I wanted to write it as a decimal, that would work too, unless I said exact values. And then this way to here would be 1 plus √5. That would get me out to that point. Now we haven't done these points out here yet. The x value's got to be the same as this one, so it would be 1. I have to figure out how high. So I started at 2, and I had to go up b, so that's 2 more, so that would be 4. This point here would be, it'll be 1, because it's still 1 over to the right. And then it started at 2 and it went down 2, so that'd be right on the line, that'd be at 0. So that gives you an idea of what the center is, what the vertices would be all these corners. The foci, those would be those points right there of the ellipse. Okay, hopefully that helps.